Hi folks, so in my last video I talked about climate change and I gave you a tour of our drought resistant landscaping and a bunch of the comments were climate change, LOL, you idiot, that's made up. And you know what, like I owe you folks an apology. The drought resistant landscape was a giant waste of time and money because it's not stopped raining the last week in LA. But I thought this would be a good chance. I'm not riding my bike today. I thought this would be a good chance to give you a tour of my new sponsors, my annual sponsor show and tell for 2023. So let's get into it. All right, first I want to give you a rough idea of how things work. The way pro cycling teams work, and that's the world that I come from, is they'll say, hey, you're my 2-year exclusive partner for X category. It goes by category. So bike frame is a category, seat is a category, handlebar, pedals, all that stuff is its own agreement, its own contract, its own partner. I don't have an agent. It's 28 different sponsors that I reached out to, negotiated with, wrote contracts, and ultimately have deliverables for, ranging from, you get this many Instagram posts or this many mentions, or just a logo on the jersey. So I'm gonna go through and share who my partners are this year, what I'll be riding, and also like who has discounts, who has links, trackable links, stuff like that. So as like a handy kind of reference and a tease of what you'll see coming up this year. All right, first, like my pointer, we have Jukebox. Jukebox is our title sponsor again this year. Jukebox, it's a 2-year deal. They have a team, they have a full team, but it's a new kind of team. It's independent racers kind of all supported to do what they're into. So there's gravel, there's downhill, there's some mountain bike. It's a mix of cool people who normally wouldn't fit in the traditional team category, who are all doing their own stuff. So check jukeboxcycling.com. Jukebox, the company, it's a printing company out of Vancouver, so they're big on stickers, all the cookie stickers I've been vandalizing with this year, but posters, business cards, all that kind of stuff. It comes in a nice box. They do a really good job, fun brand, and into supporting kind of a new grassroots category of North American cycling. Up next, we have Factor. As you can see, Factor is my bicycle frame sponsor. Road bikes, gravel bikes, there might even be a mountain bike in my future. They make great stuff. The Ostro Vam is the fastest bike that I've ever ridden, overall fastest bike. For my uphill things, I go with the super light O2 Vam, or the even lighter with the rim brakes. I take the brakes off for the Mount Washington kind of things. But Factor, they make great stuff. They're a fun brand. They continue to support Worst Retirement Ever. And we appreciate them. And this one, they painted some cookies on a couple different frames for me. I got cookie bikes. Next, we've got Headspace. So that's the logo here, ow. And then this one, the Chapeau it's a power analysis software. The way we're gonna get dorky here, beware. You're on my channel, you expected that. The way power analysis normally works is the cloud-based ones. You have your file, it uploads from your Wahoo into the cloud, and what happens is, they're worried about cloud storage, and what they're only looking at a certain percentage of your file. They're only looking at a small amount of your file, and this is getting into the weeds, but Chapeau will look at the whole file, and they'll get, actually the numbers a little bit different, your averages will be a few watts off, and for intervals, that totally matters. So Chapeau, they're not a monthly subscription, it's just you pay one time, 2-week free trial, you pay one time and you can dork on your files, and you will find them to be more accurate. And they also have some crazy in-depth features on segment analysis. You can create segments in there if there's a specific KOM you're training for, like some kind of a weirdo. There's all kinds of deep stuff that you can get into with Chapeau if you're looking for more out of your powered data. Up next, we have the Chapeau logo is on my helmet, but this is a Lazer helmet, as you can see. Lazer, this is their new Kineticore line. They have different kinds of Kineticore line from whichever sort of category of cycling you're into, kind of crumple zone technology to protect your noggin. Lazer has it's incorporated in the helmet, it's in the foam, so it's not like an internal, external shell, it doesn't add a bunch of weight. So this helmet is more concussion resistant while still being lighter, aerodynamic, and still kind of cool looking. Now the Lazer sponsorship comes with Shimano. Shimano owns Lazer, that's how you know that Lazer works, because Shimano also works. So Shimano, we've got the Grupo, the Power Meter, the saddle is Pro, that's also a Shimano product. The shifters, all that stuff. On here we do have the new 12-speed group. 11-speed works great. I've found the main improvement I noticed from one to another is that the braking is a lot better on the 12. You're less likely to kind of get the disc brakes are a little bit thicker, I think. They're less likely to warp. There's more tolerance in there. So you're not going to have like a couple of the classic complaints that people had when disc brakes first came out. Shimano has solved, and everything with Shimano, like it just works. It's efficient. It's fast. You know, no drama, no problems. What can you say about Shimano except I have to because they're a sponsor. I can't just not talk about it. But the thing is, a good Grupo you just don't notice. And the cool thing when you buy Shimano, when you buy like the nicest stuff, you will find it lasts. It lasts a long time. So the 11 speed, like I'm gonna run that until it's destroyed and then I'll replace the new one. What's cool about Pros, like as soon as 12 speed comes out, Pros contractually, they cannot have a photo with 11 speed. It's kind of neat. Like I'm sort of in between. I have the 12 speed on some of it, but I'm still allowed to be like, yeah, 11 speed, it's great. It's still great. And if you get the 12 speed when 13 speed comes out, I'm not saying throw away your old stuff. You know, replace it as you should if you want the nicest stuff. It is a noticeable improvement. You know, maybe you might. I'm not going to say throw out your SRAM because I want you to recycle. All right, while we're on the wheels, my Durace wheels are mounted with Kenda tires. This is the Kenda Valkyrie. These are 28 millimeter. I have gone full tubeless. Tubeless, if you tried tubeless when it first came out, you might have struggled. Some of the tires didn't get along. Back then, you were adapting your wheels to be tubeless ready. And now the wheels are kind of all built with tubeless in mind. They mount easier, they fit better. It's less of a struggle there. I will admit it takes a little bit longer to set up a tubeless tire, but we're talking 80% fewer flats. And I would rather set up my tire in the house, you know, in the air conditioning, in the garage, whatever, than change a flat on a hot road in the middle of the summer somewhere. And this is just tubeless has drastically improved my bike riding experience. And Kenda has a great selection. They do a great job. Nice tires for road, gravel, mountain bike, all the widths, tubulars, whatever you're into, Kenda's got them. And you might be asking, how does one get air into one's bicycle tires? Well, I prefer Silca. So this is their portable inflator. Silca they're known for just the super nice floor pumps. They do it right. They've got the portable pumps. They got CO2 heads. Also, the nice bottle cages, bar tape. They do a really nice chain lube, and also their newest thing is the tubeless sealant. The Silca tubeless sealant, someone else can show you a chart of how much better this is than the other ones, but basically what sealant is doing is it's got, you know, a little bit of matter in there to plug the hole that forms in your tire, and Silca's just got bigger chunks. It's actual carbon fiber shards in there. It will plug a bigger hole than its competitors. And they do a perfect job. Everything that Silca works with, so their chain lube, all their stuff, it's very well researched. It's kind of over-engineered, which in certain categories you really need. Now my Silca CO2 inflator goes in the Orucase saddlebag. Orucase, first known for the B2 bike bag. That's my favorite bike travel bag. I've flown with my bike hundreds of times. I've never broken a frame. I cannot say the same about other bike travel bags. I have broken frames in the past, but the Orucase products are batting 1,000. They also have a really nice saddle bag, handlebar bag, frame bag, stuff like that. Everything they make is also like very well thought out, good attention to detail, and nice price point. We're still on the front of my jersey. We'll do Bike Legal. Bike Legal, they're a bicycle accident attorney. They reached out to me when I started doing cycling advocacy videos. They will continue to do that this year. And they kind of help me write those out, tell you what people need to hear, and how to help kind of spread the word for cycling safety. They do make their business when someone is hit by a car. That's their kind of bread and butter, but they would love to go out of business and make the world safer for all of us. So that's Bike Legal. They've been a great partner to kind of help me on that path. Also on the front of the jersey, Phil's Cookies. Now that technically isn't a sponsor. Phil's Cookies is my own business. This is a cookie mix. In 2020, we couldn't have the Phil's Cookie Fondo. There was this pandemic thing taking place. So we didn't do the main event. We did a bake your own cookie fondo was the idea. So I sent some recipes, I sent a ride guide, and we did this little cookie mix. So we pre-measured the cookies. The whole cookie thing started with me. I love cookies, but I'm also trying to be a healthy, fit person. So I can't have all of the cookies. So I don't want to waste precious calories on a bad cookie. Store-bought cookies, they're stale, they're old. I'm not smart enough to bake. It's just the science of it. It's never worked out for me. And sometimes you don't want to go out every time you want a good cookie. Phil's Cookies it's pre-measured. We hired food scientists, packaging. We did all the good stuff. So it's measured out perfectly. All you do is you add water, you add an egg, you bake it, a little bit of butter, and it comes out delicious every time. So it's kind of the fun of baking without the like pain in the ass of baking. Makes a really nice gift, and we have all kinds of like, you know, cute little aprons and fun. Phil's Cookies is a fun little business. It's a side hustle to my side hustles, but it was born from Phil's Cookie Fondo, and $1 from each bag benefits No Kid Hungry. So I've pivoted. I'm asking folks to contribute to Sierra Club, but the No Kid Hungry will remain on the Phil's Cookie mix, and we'll keep contributing to them for that. Let's not forget the jersey themselves, Starlight Apparel. Starlight, it's kind of a two sponsors in one situation. Starlight does custom clothing, so that's for your teams, your clubs, your events. They've got a great graphic artist who'll help you kind of make your design idea. If you're like, oh, I want it to kind of look like this, they'll help you create that. And of course, if you order, you know, depending on your quantity, it's a lower price than just getting something straight off the shelf. Their speed suit it's actually like one of the faster speed suits. There was a wind tunnel situation where it outperformed some brands that were probably pretty embarrassed by that. But Starlight is like a low price point, nice folks, good business, and you will be happy with the products. They also have a sister company, which is the Black Bibs. Now the Black Bibs, this is there's certain categories in bike stuff that like, I need the expensive things. I can feel the difference. You know, a really nice frame, Durace, that kind of thing, where I'm like, okay, one time, this is a few sponsors ago, but I was interested in like a lower end shoe I thought looked cool from my shoe sponsor, and I got it, and I was like, this sole is flexy. I was shocked that I couldn't ride like $100 shoe, because I'm a princess and I've had all the nice stuff. I do not notice a difference between the really expensive $300 bib shorts and the $85 bib shorts from the Black Bibs. I think it's criminal what some of those brands charge for thread and fabric. And the Black Bibs, the bibs are super nice. Don't sleep on the jerseys, which are just as good as anything else. All the warmers, layers, it just doesn't have to be that expensive. Think about what, you know, crazy marketing budgets you're paying for. And what you're getting, and the Black Bibs is just an awesome deal, starting at $40 for the basic bibs and going up, but it's all just super reasonable and well thought out, and you're not going to be bothered by it. Now we got on the shoulder, First Endurance. I've been with First Endurance since 2013 when I rode for Bissell Pro Cycling. The product that I fell in love with them when I was on Bissell, you know, it was supplements, and EFS is their electrolyte mix. The supplement is just called the basic multi-V. It was one of those, like, you know, can you tell if a multivitamin works? I'd been taking like a Centrum or something sort of off the store shelf. And it turns out with those kind of things, you're more likely to pee them out. The ingredients aren't as good. They're not as absorbable. They're not as effective. And multi-V it's built for athletes. Everything that First Endurance does, it's science first. It's more expensive, but it does work. At the end of 2013, I was like, I don't know if that vitamin worked, but I haven't had a cold in a year. So I became a religious follower and user of their stuff. We've also got the Ultragen for recovery. Just smash one of these when I finish a bike ride and then take a shower and like make lunch. Another supplement they have is Optogen, which is kind of an endurance performance supplement. So you'll take this like for a few weeks leading up to a main event or an important training block. This is built to improve your endurance, improve your mental focus during competition, so you don't forget to eat, so you're still thinking tactically and you're still concentrating on where you need to. And then Liquid Shot is our newest product. You know, this is a gel shot. One of these per hour, keep you going. There is a little bit of caffeine hit in there. And that brings me to my next one, which we've got to run inside for. Come on. It's Creature. That's our new sponsor. No, it's not. All right, up next we have the Diletto Mio, which I didn't want to carry into the garage. That'd be stupid. That's from Seattle Coffee Gear. Seattle Coffee Gear is an online retailer. All the different fancy coffee machines, all the other brands. Diletta is their house brand. Now, I love a house brand because I think you get a little more bang for your buck typically for a house brand. This one is probably comparable to machines that are a few $100s more. It's been fun to sort of learn how to make espresso. There's an art to it. It's been a fun process. I definitely screwed up for a while, and now I've nailed it. I haven't tried a latte yet. That's gonna have to come next. Espresso, the first coffee I ever had, I couldn't afford coffee in my 20s. I was like, you guys pay $4 for a cup of that? But then I moved to Spain when I was 27, and I had the espresso there, and you know, it's €1 for a little shot. That's how they do it there. They're all very espresso based. And then I liked it, and I came back to the States, and I went to Starbucks, and I was like, what are you guys doing drinking Starbucks? So I've become, on accident, kind of like a little espresso snob, and I'm happy to get to the point where I can do it at home now. And everywhere I go, like I still go to the coffee shops mid-ride, but everywhere I travel, it's been fun to I'll get a bag of coffee beans from Bucerias, and then I'll make them at home, and I can taste a little bit of Bucerias wherever I go. So that's been kind of the partnership with Seattle Coffee Gear. Good folks, good customer service, and a fun kind of process, ritual, etc. every morning. All right, back to the garage. I don't know why I'm running. It's good for you. So we talked about the cycling clothes. We've not talked about the casual clothes, which is when I was a pro cyclist, they would get they'd get a tracksuit. You'd get a tracksuit every year. You'd go to a race and you'd wear the same sweatpants and 2 t-shirts, maybe some underwear, and that would just last you for a week. And as a retired person, especially after 2020, I can't tell you how much I missed that. So when I got to know Decathlon, they're a French company. They're available in the U.S. They're online only. They're very well known over in Europe for just having a crazy selection of outdoor and fitness and exercise gear, all kinds of sports. They have cycling stuff too. But they're my casual clothing sponsor. Great selection of really nice clothes, insanely reasonable price points. And what I did, they were a sponsor last year, and the thing is, they've got all these kind of different house brands. So like sort of each sport, they're so for like hiking, their Patagonia equivalent is called Quechua. But so it'd be a Quechua logo. It didn't say Decathlon on it, but I wanted people to know where Decathlon, where the stuff came from, so that, tents, all that stuff. So I went to a tailor, like an alterations place down the street, and I just had him sew on all these little Decathlon patches. So all of my gear now, you'll see it says Decathlon, and everything I've worn on my channel that's not on the bike or on my social media the last year has been Decathlon 100%. So the guy he just put logos on all of it, and it was great because the dude was he's a tennis player, and he says he loves their rackets. It's a great price on tennis rackets. But in the category of like some stuff being insanely expensive, I can't believe what people pay for a t-shirt. Decathlon takes care of that for you. All the great outdoor gear, the puffy jackets, the pants, the shorts, they make nice little shoes. Everything they do, you won't believe the prices. It's all super reasonable, and it's all really nice. All right, so we're gonna insert the record scratch in, if I can find the record scratch sound. So what happened was I filmed all these clips in my garage, and then there was an airplane flying over. I talked about Wahoo. There's an airplane flying over. The only flight that wasn't canceled over the Christmas holidays seems to have hit the Wendy's drive-thru down the street from me. So it was super loud. You couldn't hear a damn word I'm saying. So I just got to cut it here. Anyway, Wahoo. Wahoo, you know them mostly for the bike computers. This is the Element Bolt. The Roam is the bigger screen. Everything they make is super smart. I like to compare it to Apple versus PC. It's just like, it's intuitive, it's smooth, it works, it looks good, and you're like, oh, I thought the other one worked, but this is just way better. They also have their whole indoor trainer ecosystem, the Kickr, the Kickr Climb, the desk, all that stuff. I'm going to be on there later because it's still raining out. It's just everything works together. It works perfectly. It's all really smart. They also have Wahoo System, which is an integrated kind of library of workouts for the Kickr. I really love the yoga and the strength training, but they do have on-bike workouts. I've found that if you're looking for like a really efficient workout, if you're time crunched, if you're stuck in the rain, the power file from a trainer ride, from a stationary ride, it's superior to riding outside. You lose the junk miles. They used to have there was a section at the service course of stationary trainers, and you would go there to do intervals. It'd be a perfect nice day out. But if you wanted that perfect interval, if you don't have like the ideal climb, if you wanted to really nail a workout, you'd ride over there, do your intervals, and then kind of ride out to do your endurance. But the Kickr, the Wahoo system, is a great place for that. Wahoo also purchased Speedplay. Speedplay is now a Wahoo product. The only flaw, Speedplay, the low stack height, better cornering, more adjustability, super light. The Speedplay was always kind of the best pedal in my opinion. I raced it for years and years. One of those, like, I just kept it. My knees were happy, my feet were happy, everything's good. The only flaw was you had to hit it like once or twice a year with the grease gun. You had to kind of pump it and get this nasty grease out. Wahoo has fixed that. They've sealed that bearing, so the maintenance aspect is not there, and is now, in my opinion, the perfect pedal. In the category of reasonably priced stuff, and also stuff that I wear, goodr. Goodr makes these glasses. Their glasses start at $25. They're all polarized. They're all nice. I don't understand how other brands justify charging hundreds of dollars for sunglasses. These are just as good. They've got some cool aviators. They got blue blockers is the new thing. I find this, don't ask me about the science on this stuff, but blue blockers, if you're on the screens a lot, if you're on your laptop or your phone for work, especially as you get closer to bedtime, this stuff is supposed to sort of help your brain waves, and it should help you sleep. They have those now. But goodr's just like a fun brand, super sane prices, all the performance you need, and nice folks to work with. All right. Also, something that I'm wearing. This is a wearable. This is the Whoop 4.0 strap. Whoop. This is a sleep tracker, a recovery tracker, fitness tracker. It just kind of sits there and it pays attention to your heart. It's gotten super smart as Whoop has more users. It asks kind of a questionnaire, but it's learned from all the users they've had, all the data they've had last couple of years. A lot of folks are finding, like, they'll wake up, Whoop will say like, hey, your numbers are a little bit off here, here, and here. It turns out they have COVID. Whoop gets to know you. It'll improve your sleep habits. It'll kind of tell you when you need a little rest period. It'll tell you when you're sharp. This has been a vital recovery tracking tool, and just one of the metrics that I religiously look at along with my power meter and all that kind of stuff in my training. As you can see, I'm in the yellow today. That's a good day to sit in the garage and make a video. All right, we're gonna go ahead and flip the jersey around, do the back sponsors. So related to the Whoop is the Optimize app. So this is with Coach Fascat. My coach Frank, I've been working with him for 8 years now. So that's training plan, stuff like that. Coach Frank, Fascat, they've gone bigger this coming year. This new app, Optimize, so it kind of connects your Whoop to your training. It's a subscription thing, but it includes all the training plans you want. So the training people have been enjoying here's your 6-week climbing plan, your Phil Spondo preparation plan, your Unbound gravel plan. They have training plans for whatever you're working on. The subscription includes it's all of those and a bunch of other stuff, a whole library, indoor, outdoor workouts. I'm excited this just came out. I'm excited to sort of learn how this works this year and share that with you. But if you are training, if you do have goals, it's hard to express how much better, like a real training plan, a periodized plan. You do a few, you'll find you learn how your body works, but kind of the build up, the trust the process, all that stuff, it just makes a tremendous difference, and it will save you time, it will save you energy, it will save you frustration, and you'll be better and healthier. One more app here, Inside Tracker. Now, as an athlete, they do the drug testing for us. So you'd get like a quarterly blood test from the UCI. If you win a race, they test you, and they're testing for drugs. And the team would do constant tests for this sort of thing. But you'd also end up using it for health and fitness. You'd see all your levels. They would actually send you the data after a UCI blood test. They'd still send you your numbers. Be like, oh well, I'm low in iron. I should add a supplement here, or I should change that in my diet. The annual blood test that you get if you're high performing, if you have goals, if you're really working on your fitness and your recovery, the annual blood test you get from your doctor is really only a small picture. Getting it regularly, you'd see, like, it depends on really what you ate. the last week. If I had 2 steaks the week before a blood test, I might have high cholesterol. That doesn't mean I need to work on my cholesterol the next 9.5, 10 months until I see the doctor again. Inside Tracker, you can either go to the lab, or they have that comes to your house. You don't have to do your own blood test. Don't worry about that. But you get your blood test, and then they have experts who will. You get the results, and they'll give you some recipes. They'll give you, here's what you need to eat more of, here's what you need to eat less of. What are your goals? Here's how to get there. Sometimes you just get in this point where, like, I don't know if I don't feel right. I don't know if I need to train more, or if I need to recover. Inside Tracker will help kind of keep you on track. And there's a lot of stuff where it's like, here's performance, but health comes first. So you're not going to have the performance without the health. And Inside Tracker is a great tool to stay on top of that. Another expert category I'm working with this year, competitive cyclist. Now, if you ride bikes, you've heard of competitive cyclists. You've probably bought stuff there. They have a little chat section, a little chat bot. If you have customer service questions, if you're not sure what you need, not sure about compatibility. We destroyed. Long story. We destroyed Emily's gravel bike. She needed a new one, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to be smart and use my little affiliate link on my own purchase, and we'll get some points for that. And I go on there, and they're like, what size is she? What size is her old frame? What size is the stem? Here's what she'd be in this brand. And they'll help you pick it out. They'll help you make sure you got the right stuff and getting what you need. And they have it all in stock. There's no like waiting a couple weeks if your local bike shop doesn't have the inventory. Competitive Cyclist on top of it. It shows up quick, and they'll take good care of you. A lot of stuff from my other sponsors you can buy there. Shimano, Wahoo, Seasucker, Silca. They'll be all stocked up and have everything you need. One of the things you can find at Competitive Cyclist is Seasucker. They are a Seasucker dealer. Seasucker is my bike rack sponsor. Well, they do bike racks. They do phone mounts for your car, GoPro mounts for the car. All the videos you see where I've got a GoPro following me, that's a Seasucker mount. The roof rack, this is the super fancy Komodo one. They have a lower price one. Super convenient if you have like a fancy car, you don't want to have a bike rack live on there all the time, or if you travel, you throw the Talon in the suitcase, or just like a spare. If you say you have one on your hitch, and once in a while, like, crap, I have 4 bikes I got to transport instead of the 2, you have that in the garage, you throw that on. A lot of people are like, man, I don't want to put a suction cup on my roof. I don't trust it. It's not a suction cup, it's a vacuum mount, so you pump it, and it gets that suction. This is the stuff you see them transporting, like big plates of glass, and people like climbing up buildings, the window washers. This technology is around, and I've a lot like the Orucase. Like I put thousands of miles on my car with the bike on the top. I've never lost a factor. I've never lost any bikes. It's once you use it, it's super solid, and you can see there's an indicator to know that the suction is still solid. You follow the directions, and it's totally fine. And they've got adapters or mounts for kind of whatever style bike you're looking to put on there. Now, the Seasucker is a great product to have when you fly down to Mexico. My next sponsor is Bici Bucerias. Now, you saw my house in Mexico. You've seen some cool adventures I had. Everything that I've done down there, my connection down there, all the fun adventures I had were put on by Bici Bucerias. They're a tour company out of that same town, but they go all over Mexico. They're doing point-to-point stuff now. They have an event next year. There's a contest. You can win a trip. So hope to see you there. But I'll be promoting and sharing potential Mexican adventures. Get some traveling in. Mexico if it's not on your bucket list for bike destinations, it should be. Now, I love Mexico. I love the riding there. I will say the pavement leaves something to be desired. So make sure if you go down there, make sure you bring your Handup gloves. Handup, super nice gloves. They kind of started. They had the mountain bike sole, but they have road gloves. These are really nice for summer. But they got mountain bike gloves. They got warm gloves. They got road gloves. They also do like golf and stuff. You saw them in my Chattanooga video. They're based in Chattanooga. But they do have fun designs. But they've got some more. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say. They got some new designs coming out that might be a little more matchy for the roadies out there. On the other end, we got hands for your feet. Ridge Supply. Ridge Supply. High visibility socks. The kind of the mountain design that when I'm descending and it's a nice day and you see sort of the ridge thing. That's their whole aesthetic is Ridge Supply. But they've always got bright colors incorporated. There's a high vis thing. The founder of Ridge Supply, he was hit by a car, so that's been a big mission of his. Is kind of safety, but also fun and nice design. All right, up next, we've got State. We're back with State. This is a little bit of a longer story. The only sponsor that kind of full on fired me last year was Rad Power. Rad Power, I don't like to talk bad about a sponsor, but I also want to be transparent about stuff like this, and I think they're an interesting case. I had a 2-year agreement with them, and starting, so it was supposed to go through next year. And then at some point, like 6 months in, I get an email from my representative Rad Power, and they're like, "Hey Phil, pursuant to term 8.1.v in your contract, we have to cancel this effective immediately." And I was like, "Shit, what did I do? What did I accidentally tweet my dick? What's 8.1.v?" And I go and look in the contract, and most of them I write my own contracts. Rad Power, they're kind of bigger corporate VC backed, so they had their own. And 8 point whatever the contract term was, it was Rad Power has the right to cancel this agreement at any time for any reason or no reason. And I was like, well, you shouldn't have signed that. So they did, and you know what happened was Rad Power, I think, if you look at sort of the stock market and the main markets, they were winning the bike industry, they were winning the e-bike category specifically, and I think they tried to grow too fast. They took out a bunch of venture capital. Everyone I knew there, like, I watched them get fired, and they'd be like, "Here's your new contact," and then they'd get fired, and they went through 4 rounds of layoffs. And I think somewhere at the top was banks or venture capital or someone trying to be a billionaire, and they kind of missed an opportunity, and they got some lawsuits. When that happened, State, when I signed with Rad Power, State did not have an e-bike. They have now come out with this e-bike, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I get to hit up State again." Good folks. They're based in Phoenix. It's smart how the battery is hidden in the frame. But it's just, it's a basic e-bike. It's a reasonably priced thing. E-bikes are a big part of my life. Any trip under 5 miles, especially like in the city in LA, I beat traffic. I don't have to deal with parking. It's got a built-in computer. It's got a bell. I do believe that a reasonably priced e-bike can be a big part of saving the world, and I'm stoked to do my part and represent State riding around town. Now, as I ride around town on the e-bike, I will have this U-Lock from Ottolock with me. You've seen it on my bike here. This is the Ottolock. This is their original product. It's just a thin, convenient, lightweight. Get the mount also. I use the shorter lock. I don't bother locking the front wheel. The purpose of the Ottolock, it's not to leave out overnight. Any locks can be cut. The point of it is, you stop to get a coffee, you have to use the bathroom somewhere, you're leaning your bike against a glass, window at a convenience store. That provides that little layer of security. It prevents the opportunistic theft, which I think is a high percentage of theft of the super fancy road bikes. The number of hours I've left my bike undefended, it's a miracle it hasn't been stolen, and now I've made it much harder. Up next, we have the lotions and potions section. Hard to talk about a product that's invisible. Lactigo rubs on clear. This is a performance or recovery gel, so I like to rub it on before or after you use it. It's like the main ingredient is carnosine. Carnosine is something that I used to supplement. I used to take a pill before I ride. Now I just rub it directly on. This is some of my best performances have been with Lactigo, slathered all over my legs. The last few years, I've become more and more of a believer. A big ride, I don't go without it. And then like after, I find use this, I'll sleep a little better, marginal gain, pain relief, just a little easier to relax, and it just feels nice to rub it on. You try it, and it's pleasant. It's a good sensation, and it's a nice little easy to travel with bottle. Chamois Buttr. Now, not quite invisible, but here's the thing: you don't want to see it. You don't want to see me slathering this on. But it's important. There's never every 100% of my rides include Chamois Buttr. A lot of folks get into cycling and they're like, "Oh, I love riding bikes, but my crotch hurts." Bib shorts, decent saddle, and this kind of thing will prevent the chafing, prevent the saddle sores. It's a little bit. It goes a long way. Just a very important component. They also have the skin wash has been a favorite product of mine. This just lives in my backpack. If you're doing a long ride, you're getting in the car. I had a couple races back in the day where you just go right from the finish line to an airplane. Something like this, you just kind of pour it on a towel, do your armpits, do your crotch, and you're refreshed. You will feel better. You'll be less offensive on that Southwest flight. All right, just a couple more. This one isn't technically a sponsor either. This is like Phil's Cookies. Ice legs. As a racer, I was a big fan of a post-race ice bath, especially a stage race. You got to race the next day. Your legs are throbbing. I would do 100 laps from the ice maker at the hotel to the bathtub in the hotel. And the main I would feel better the next day. I'd noticeably recover better, perform better the next day if I didn't skip the ice bath. The only flaw with the ice bath is, why are you freezing my balls and my penis? Why? That's not necessary. I do not pedal with my balls or my penis. And at the time, I always wished that there was a gel product. They have the ice packs for everywhere else. I always wish there was a product that would cover your legs and skip the crotch portion. It didn't exist, so finally I just invented it. I designed the product myself. I sourced it. We ship them out of the same place where we do all the Fondo, Phil's Cookies stuff. But we also have a new ice vest. That was something people asked for, was a vest. The Human Powered Health team will be using that on their warm-ups and their races this year in the summer. We got sleeves. We got new products. Ice legs it's been a fun little business. Another one of my side hustles to my side hustles. It's just one big side hustle. But I love ice legs. It's been a fun product, and I appreciate you folks giving it a try. All right, my last sponsor, had to end it on the 12-speed Doormate. That is the garage door clicker that's built into your handlebar ends. So we're gonna hit that, and we're gonna call it a night. See ya.